So I've been obsessed with the Nintendo Music app since it released about half a year ago. Like, it's just so nice to have a proper platform to listen to all types of Nintendo music. It has robust playlist features, you know, it has everything I need. It's just the consistent drip feed of new games has been kind of aggravating. With the list of games that we've gone so far, there are just loads of holes and really just inconsistent quality that I feel the need to call out. At first glance, it looks like a perfectly reasonable selection, with pretty much every major series and even sub-series getting more representation. It's just when you start to scratch the surface that things get pretty underwhelming. Like, pretty much every other week at this point delivers just one NES or SNES game. The only exception being when we got Tetris for NES, Tetris for Game Boy, which has a couple more slightly lower quality sounding songs than the NES version, and Dr. Mario on Game Boy, which has a couple less songs than the already added at launch NES Dr. Mario. But anyway, pretty much all of the more modern games here are great additions, you know, especially with curveballs like Wave Race and the Street Pass Plaza. You are still actually kept on your toes as to what to expect with each week. And it works especially well with how I like to enjoy the app, which is by creating playlists for every single series. So when a game gets added that I know is going to add a good variety of songs to a playlist, it's a great feeling, you know? Especially when a game actually comes with all of its songs. Like the Street Pass Plaza came without the soundtracks for all of its downloadable games, Splatoon 2 had some hidden songs you could only find through searching that were later removed, and most infamously Kirby and the Forgotten Land advertised it was only asked to come with 23 of its songs and that the rest are going to be added later in the year. Like, that makes a bit more sense now we know that that game's getting essentially DLC on Switch 2, which will probably get its songs added with the rest of the base game soundtracks then. But still, why not chuck it in with like a little NES Kirby game as well? Like how the F-Zero X expansion pack songs came with F-Zero and SNES, you know? But anyway, the root of every bitch and moan I have about the distribution of games onto this app comes back down to the fact that apart from a couple outliers, they are only adding one game once per week. Like, even just adding in one more game every Friday that's in the same series as a Tuesday game would fix pretty much all of my problems. Like, it would give a pretty cohesive theme for each week, and it would mean that there would be less situations like with Donkey Kong Country 3 where I was actively dreading it being added because it just felt so obvious to add it in with Donkey Kong Country 2, so to get it a couple months later was just entirely deflating. So yeah, I know that this is all pretty pointless moaning for a free app, but still, I think if you're going to do something, it's worth doing it in a way that makes sense.